Yo, welcome back to the SHU Program. Jay, Marv, how y'all feeling, fellas?
Doing well, man. It's been a minute. We'll be back at it again.
Yep. Happy New Year.
New Year. Yep.
Happy Chinese New Year.
Yep, well, we got a lot of good stuff to get into today since we're doing our first podcast of the new year later on in January. So we're going to hop into it real quick. I think the first thing we need to talk about, which is what we've kind of been sidebarring about a little bit, is all these layoffs that's been going on in the industry. You know, Microsoft laid off 10,000 people. I think Google laid off 10,000 people. Ubisoft canceling games, laying off people. I know me and you were talking about it a little bit. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's sad, man. I feel like you never want to see people getting laid off, and you never want to see. It's never a good note when you see a gaming studio laying off people. Because me and you did talk about it in detail for a little bit, because the way these release schedules are with video games nowadays, they take so long to make. And one of the things I was talking about off the podcast was, you know, the thing now is to release consoles within a 7 to 10 year time span. So you're supposed to have like a new console within 7 to 10 years. I never agreed with that. I never thought that was a good idea or made sense. I feel like a console got to last for a longer time, because games nowadays are just taking so long to make. And when you hear about these layoffs, it just feels like, you know, these games are just going to take even longer now. And, you know, it's crazy. But the more important thing, besides from the gamers losing something, is, you know, because I don't want to be insensitive, but the people losing their jobs. And that's never good to hear. And in this economy nowadays, it's just kind of sad, because it's like you're seeing layoffs, not just from the gaming industry, but you're seeing layoffs like everywhere. Microsoft as a whole, I believe, just the company, not even like the gaming division, is releasing people. I think a while ago Apple was laying off people too. So it was just like the whole kind of tech field is like, you know, they're just trying to cut this extra money off to survive in a way. But, you know, in the meantime, you have all of the big wigs still making all these millions of dollars, and, you know, they're not getting their shit cut off. So of course they're not. So it's sad, man. It's sad to hear. It's sad for the people that's working and having to find new places. I hope they find new studios to work for and get new jobs, and hopefully they can get back on their feet. But it also sad for gamers, because we don't know the impact just yet.
Yeah, man, it's super unfortunate. I think all the news of layoffs, I mean, we kind of knew it was coming. Like, you know, the whole thing that I was saying years ago, like when we even started the podcast, like in the pandemic, is that like what we saw, from my opinion, with COVID, this is going to have ramifications. We just didn't know how it was going to turn out. So all these tech layoffs, I think it's unexpected, because the thing that I didn't understand is that, like, with the tech industry, a lot of people ended up having to work from home. I mean, these companies still made money. So now it's kind of just like, okay, with inflation and this looming recession that is here, there's like 10,000 people from Microsoft to get laid off, like 14,000 from Amazon. It just kind of makes me wonder, like, what's going on. So it's unfortunate. I hate that a lot of people have to lose their jobs, and hopefully, you know, they end up at other developer studios and be able to kind of push on to sustain their families. I think so far as gaming, we're going to continue to see ramifications from this as well, which I probably would say, hey, when people get laid off, I'm not surprised that we get these delays, products being pushed back, people trying to figure things out, or overall what we don't want to see, but may could be a possibility as well. Product just not being that great when it does release. So, you know, this is all speculation of what we predict so far as the product side goes and games being pushed to the marketplace. But I do wish everybody well, and I hope that, you know, this is something that's going to be just a trend, and all companies are going to be dropping people. But we shall see, man. It sticks. It really, really does. It just kind of makes me wonder what is going to happen in this modern gaming space with all these companies, especially these big wig companies, downsizing and cutting so many people.
Yep.
What's wild is I heard that Ubisoft was laying off people, but their CEO was still making he made $55 million last year. It's just
like it's crazy.
What do you want to do? Like, do you want to keep the workers on, keep paying them, keep making good games? All you gotta do is take $10 million less, $20 million. You still making $30 million a year, bro. Like, it's wild how the first thing they go to is cutting staff instead of just scaling back bonuses or scaling back top management salaries. That's what's wild. Right. Yeah, it is heartbreaking to see. It's heartbreaking to see. Jay made a good point, as we talked about earlier. These games are already taking 5 to 7 years to make. That's a whole console generation in itself. So it's just crazy how there are more workers, and that's probably going to add on another 6 months to 12 months time on the games that are already taking 5 years to make. So it'll be interesting, like Marv said, to see where they go from here. But at this point, they got to keep doing it because this is bread and butter for them. So we'll see what ends up happening and how it affects the industry. But yeah, it's just the main thing is the loss for the actual workers who are getting laid off. So prayers out to their families and everything that they can get something quick. But tough time in the industry right now for sure. Let's move on to Call of Duty. I know that's what we've been playing mostly recently. Warzone specifically. Warzone Season 2 has been delayed, or just say Season Pass has been delayed 10 days back to February 15th. So how are y'all enjoying Warzone so far? Let's just go ahead and start with that first.
I'm going to let Marv say his thing because, he's the more critical person on Call of Duty. So, Marv, you go ahead.
I've been enjoying Warzone. I think Warzone is dope. I think there is a lot of changes that can be made because there's multiple points of contention and train of thought on it. Me being a guy who just really got into Warzone now versus I really didn't care for Season 1 or just Warzone 1 in general. Cool. And again, like what I predicted, Warzone is going to be the thing that they're going to focus on and what's going to sustain the game. And with this delay and what they're doing so far as the content they're adding in the game, it's the same old, tongue-in-cheek and horse and pony show, man. And they're like, look, we're not getting nothing new. All we're getting is refurbished maps. Call of Duty for ages, they're just basically putting a polish on them and slapping in the game, which I think is a slap to the face of everybody who plays this game seriously and on the multiplayer side. Now, so far as Warzone goes, the same thing like what I predicted and told EJ is that, hey, all the stuff that we got within the first version of Warzone so far as the smaller map with Resurgence and Rebirth Island and all this jazz, they're doing it now. They're just repeating it. So it's just like, I don't like this thing of they want to stifle content over a season and give us stuff that we're already used to instead of just letting us have this upfront and then they just add on to that over time. So my thing is that Warzone is still fun. I think with us and when we play together, it's been dope and great. My clear just kind of red flags about it. It's still a buggy game. I mean, even with last night us playing, like that whole moment where everybody was just kind of floating in the sky and we were falling and didn't know what was going on. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, that was
crazy. 3,000 developers on this game and we just can't get basic functionality to work. Like, that's very troubling to me. So, for what I've seen with the season patch notes and what's been leaked, like, I'm looking forward to the season because this game needs some newness, but it's not anything that's just keeping me hooked to play the game any longer. Like, I'm going to still play because I obviously enjoy it, but it's not like, oh my God, I just have to play this thing and I need to run home and think about, this is going to be in my mind all day. They're not really pushing the needle forward. There's still things that they need to change. I'm going to be intrigued to see if there's any like game altering changes so far as them changing the perk system. Apparently they're going to the old school first version of Warzone style of picking up loot, so you don't have to really have this convoluted backpack system that takes time. It's a little bit quicker. We're going to see on that, but it's been okay. It's cool. It's been a fun experience. I think it's been mostly because we've made it fun, not because it's just fundamentally fun. So I'm intrigued, but at this point, I'm kind of just like, okay, Activision, and kind of just like, y'all gonna do what you're going to do, and I don't really have super high faith in it, so we'll see.
Yeah, the glitches have been For the past month, I want to say the glitches have been kind of going crazy. We joke around in our little group about us having bad internet connection, but I have ultra. Yeah, I have ultra internet speed, so no, it ain't my internet connection. This guy and Call of Duty, Call of Duty is the only game where I'm constantly getting disconnected. And I play with another group, Greg's group, and we were getting disconnected too. So it's like these problems have kind of been persistent for the past month, and like they've added little updates, and none of the updates have been addressing these little glitches. So I don't know how long that's going to take. So to me personally, I've been working a lot, so the release date being pushed back to February 15th, while it's a little far in my opinion, a little far. I'm not gonna really stress about it, but I need to see not just a content update, but we need a more stability update, because it's like what we experienced last night, where the game literally broke and then came back together and then broke again multiple times. That's not a great experience.
Right.
And getting kicked out every time you're getting ready to start a match and having to reset, having the game freeze on you, it's just it's not being addressed. I don't know if I'm not a developer, so I'm not gonna speak for the developers. I don't know if it's a difficult issue that they're having, but when you're making millions and millions of dollars, we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that. You have the money, get the best people on a job to fix the problem. We don't want to hear that. Y'all have no problem putting new content in the fucking store. Excuse my language. Y'all have no problem putting new content in the store, selling shit. Y'all make sure it's right. Y'all make sure everything works when it's time to buy stuff. So make sure everything right when it's time to play the damn game. So I don't want to hear that. So get the shit right. So February 15th, let's get some stability updates up in there too. But for the most part, I'm enjoying the game. I don't really have a lot of criticism on gameplay specifics. I know Marv has issues with some of the weapons and the guns, but personally, I haven't had any major issues with the game so far. I will say one of the things I am hoping for is the map is so big. I would love to see a five player team up on Warzone 5. That would be amazing. It's been teased multiple times and we've never got it. I'm just hoping like Warzone would be Activision. Y'all be top G, like that rapist guy Andrew Tate would say if y'all did that. But just saying, y'all. That we kind of left, huh? But no, it would be amazing if we had 5 players and had something like that. I know they're coming out with a new smaller map. That's cool and everything, but I want to see some for the content updates. I want to see like some actual like really amazing additions. But yeah, can't wait for it. The delay is not hurting me. Let's get some stability updates in there, and we good. We move.
Let me start off by just reading down the list of what they're actually adding. So, according to Call of Duty, Season 2 will be launching on the 15th, as we stated. It will include all new content with the return of Resurgence Mode. I believe, Jay, that was when, like, if you get killed, if your team has a certain amount of money or a certain amount of money you can buy, you automatically get bought back or something like that. But that's coming back. Brand new small map for Warzone 2.0 they're bringing in. Updates to the Gulag, which I know Marv had some issues with that. I believe we talked about that earlier. It's basically like 2-on-2 out. So bro. I don't know if they're actually going to do that. I myself, this is just speaking for me, I don't really care. I don't really mind that because there's sometimes when I will get a kill, or if I get killed early, sometimes your teammate can come in and get 2 kills and bring you back. So I really don't. I don't really care about that. But they're bringing updates to that. Sucks. Yeah, but hey, sometimes you gotta do the EJ special. Like I tell y'all, you gotta go in there and you gotta kill them. Looting. Marvin also talked about this too. The looting system is gonna be changed, and then they said they're bringing changes to loadouts. I don't know exactly what that's gonna be. I hope it is loadouts don't cost $32,000. I hope that's what it is because that's really wild to get that much money that quick. They're bringing rank play back. And they're also said they're bringing new multiplayer maps, new modes. We'll see what that means, weapons, and more. So that's what they say they're going to bring. Personally, like Jay said, I don't really have that much issue with the actual gameplay itself. Bugs are what's been crazy recently. As Jay stated, last night we were on the second floor of a building, to all of a sudden falling from the sky to back on the second floor of a building. Like, that's kind of crazy. It would be worse if it was like 10 people left and it started happening when we were all trying to like battle in the last circle. So good thing that didn't happen when we were actually fighting people, because that would have broke the game for sure. But that's the biggest thing. Now, if I want to say me personally, my issue, and this doesn't hardly have any issues with Marv, Greg, Jay, anybody, skins are trash this year. I'm just going to put that out. The last 3 seasons, we literally got new skins every single day. Like, they were literally putting out new skins every day. We have had the same skins in the store for the last 3 weeks. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if y'all ran out of ideas because you were putting out too many in the last couple seasons. Y'all dropped this dope, really fire NFL, basically like a little montage of Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, just for you to tell me that those actually aren't skins that are coming. It's just a promotion for the NFL. So
stupid.
I don't know what's going on, because I'm telling you right now, they would have had $100 from me in 5 seconds if that would have been actual skins. I would have bought all of them. So you need to figure out what's going on. You gave us the FIFA skins. You up here paying Messi and all these people up here in FIFA is a lot. They got a lot more money than the NFL does. So I'm trying to figure out why y'all can't get a deal done with the NFL to do that, because that would have been fire to play with right now, especially with the playoffs going on. So me personally, right now, get it together with the skins, bro. Get it together. Y'all got to start doing. I'm sorry I've been saying this all the time, but y'all got to do like Fortnite, bro. You got to start partnering with other people, bringing content into the game. You got to do it. You want to make all this money from the store, they're not doing something people actually want. If you start doing what people want, y'all will make a lot more money than what you actually making. Just listen to what they're telling you, bro. You got Marvel out there. You got the NFL. You could partner with the NBA. Fortnite just partnered with Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
might as well go crazy, bro. Might as well.
You might as well
just do it.
Yeah, it's already goofy. Right. We don't care about it trying to be a faithful adaptation to war, as far as everybody got to have on these bulky suits. We don't care about none of that. We don't care about that. We want to look cool killing niggas. That's it. That's all we care about. That's all we care about.
That's literally it, bro.
So get the skins into the game. Make these partnerships. Y'all got plenty of money to buy to get into a partnership with somebody. Just do what you got to do. For me, if they do that, they got me. I'm in Warzone till they cut Warzone off. So looking forward to whatever they put out on the 15th. But other than that, Brad, I'm pretty good with the game so far.
I would say they put out an update. I don't know if this is on a list, EJ, that you have, but I saw their Instagram, and on the Instagram it said that hardcore mode will return in season 2, and everybody's like, then what the hell is tier 1?
Exactly. What you mean hardcore mode is gonna return?
It's what I've been arguing with y'all forever. It is realism mode, which isn't the same as hardcore. I've been saying that forever, bro. Hardcore still has a HUD, bro. The main problem for tier 1 with stinks, bro. I don't know. I have my kill streaks or field orders. If I didn't notice that the little square in the circle meant something in the bottom right corner, who would know?
Yep. I tried to tell Jay that the first night. I don't care about you I honestly don't care about you taking my HUD away because you want to make it more realistic. Let me know when I have kill streaks. How hard is it to do that, bro? Don't give me them stupid little squares and say, oh, you got to listen for a ping to let you know you got one. I'm not listening for that. I'm listening to bullets flying. I don't care about this other stuff trying to figure out when I have kill streaks or not. Show me when I have a kill streak. Everything else you can cut off. Be realistic as you want it to be. But cut that back on. That is the main thing I want if they do that with this hardcore mode. Is just let me know when I have kill streaks and I'm good.
Well, I mean, I think I don't know. I guess I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they should have some kind of filter where they allow you to add those things on there and search for matches that require that. But do we need another mode, specifically called hardcore mode for that? I don't know. I don't think tier 1. I don't think it's needed to have a whole different mode. But oh well. I mean, it is what it is.
Take tier 1 out the game. It is absolutely pointless.
Just make it
like hardcore. Literally, it's absolutely pointless. Just make it hardcore. No one asked for tier 1. No one played realism mode heavy for 2019, and that's why the hardcore game mode community is so mad now is that, okay, you ostracize us and you throw this mode in that no one asked for, and that honestly people have to play out of necessity for this stupid camo grinding bullshit that they have in the game, whereas they have to do that in order to make it happen with ease. Even that, change the camouflage challenges, bro. Why are SMGs being required to get long shot kills in order to get platinum camos?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not even a component of the gun itself.
Yeah, as well.
SMG is meant for medium to short range combat. Long range kill with an SMG, bro. I mean, what is the point of that? No one asked for that. That it doesn't create challenges. It forces terrible play styles that doesn't enable people to have fun, and that's the issue. Like, it's just no point. No point. Just take it out.
Trying to get 20 long shot kills with a mini box.
Shipment be 24/7 so that people can basically finagle getting their camos done. Like, stop playing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop playing. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Back to the original essence of COD, man. Stop adding and changing things that no one cared about.
Yep.
Back to the essence. Y'all want to make money? Give people content to spend money on. People playing, fix the fundamentals of the game. It's literally that simple.
Which
simple. Add more guns, add more things that people can buy in the store. The content fresh. Y'all don't even do that. We don't even get new maps.
Well, they saved new maps.
It came out 7 years ago, bro. They just basically put new underwear on it and gave it back to us. Now, we had a new map. We had a new map. We had museum, right? Get out the game. No one knows what museum is.
It did.
We know why they took it out. We know why.
You know why, but museum was the most fire.
Hey, repurpose it, bro.
Was the most fire level. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You got Shipment and Shoot House. Great. We played that literally 5 years ago. Thank you, Activision. That is awesome. You did us a great favor. Woo! Congratulations to you two. Like, what? Hey, bro. They gonna fuck around and end up like Halo. That's gonna end up happening. Like Halo, bro.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Halo
has one mode.
Yeah,
so that's the Halo's problem. Is
player count. They already talking about this has been the lowest of the player count since the release of the game, and I'm just like, all right, keep playing, bro. Let season 2 be a flop. All right, bro.
It's the lowest player count, but they made the most money so far than they made on any of them, so they don't care. They don't.
But
care,
it's like, bro, nobody cares, man. And then new games are coming out, eventually they're gonna end up getting dropped, bro, because nobody gonna have to deal with the nonsense.
That's another thing too. Not to. Because I think we got to be careful when we talk about lower player count, because you do have gamers that's like Greg, where all the games he plays is Call of Duty. Like, he buys the Xbox just to play one game.
Yes.
You do have those gamers out there, but then you have a lot of gamers that are playing multiple games. So as these games come out, yes, for a popular game like Call of Duty, in my opinion, the player count is going to drop. It's going to slowly decrease over time because there's new games coming out, and as we go into this new year, this first quarter especially, the player count is going to drop. It is, if you're not just playing Call of Duty. If you play multiple games. The same thing happened with 2K. When 2K came out, everybody in the 2K community was complaining about how the player count dropped. Well, everybody don't play 2K all day. They play other games.
They also have other problems that we'll get into.
Well, that too. That too. Yes, for sure. For sure. It definitely does.
But yeah, we're in a season right now where we're about to come across a lot of games getting ready to come out. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Player count is going to be down. You got Forspoken coming out next week. You got a week and a half after that. You got Hogwarts Legacy. In beginning of May, you got Redfall. Then somewhere in June, July, you're probably gonna have Starfield. So yeah, it's a lot of games getting ready to come out. So their player count probably gonna go down for a minute, but it could go back up if you do what we said. Store of Kraken.
Street Fighter coming out in the summer too.
Street Fighter 2, yeah. So hey, you want to compete, you'll do what your base is telling you. And when we say do what your base is telling you, not just the people who are playing for YouTube. Appease them and try to make all the additions that they want. Make the additions that the casual, everyday gamer wants, not just the people that are grinding hard on Call of Duty all the time. So,
All right.
We'll see.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm gonna hop into a video game, but a video game adaptation made for TV. So, as you know, and I'm sure I know Marvin played it because I let Marvin play it when I had it. But Jay, Last of Us is on HBO. Episode 1 just came out last week. Have y'all seen it? What do you think so far about it being a faithful adaptation to the game?
So this is coming from probably the guy with the least, because y'all two, like you said, y'all two played it in detail. I have the least experience with the game, but I know pretty much everything. I know all the major story beats, even from the second game, even though I didn't play that. I played a little bit of the first one, but at the time I didn't really have a PlayStation at the time. I was playing primarily Xbox, so at the time I didn't really get to play the game like truly spend time with it like I should have. But I do remember those early parts of the game where I played, and I do remember pretty much everything from the first part, especially everything that happened in this episode. I remember everything that happened, and man, that was amazing how they were able to well, spoil. I mean, the game's been out. I don't know if I care about spoiling people, but
spoiler, bro.
yeah, spoiler alert. I mean, it's been out for years. They
Game
came out
been
with the
out for
Ultimate
what?
Edition.
8-9 years? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Right, I'm about to
Yeah.
say, hey, nah.
They've
right.
released it. They've re-released it multiple times. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
They re-released it twice, so yes, they
Right.
Get
no
to it.
spoilers. It is what it is.
And then they're talking about remaking it again. Like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, man, it's just from the whole. I mean, you know what someone told me actually. Someone told me actually, what they appreciated about it was how people who didn't play the games and may not be familiar with the franchise.
They can understand.
They can understand it. Like the first part of
Wonderful
the episode.
job.
Huh? Say it again.
So they did a wonderful job with that.
Right, like in the beginning, you had like a scene, like kind of it reminded me of the scene from I Am Legend at the beginning of the movie of the episode. You had this sit down interview with a scientist talking about the if I'm pronouncing it right, the cordyceps, just explaining how they work and stuff like that. And I remember I Am Legend having a similar situation where they were talking about how they found the cure for cancer, and then by the time the movie started, what the cancer did, turn everybody to fucking vampire zombie creatures. But so it was kind of similar. It's kind of similar to what this happened. So you kind of understand what's happening. But man, the most powerful scene so far that I seen was when we get to see our setting, which is this kind of post-apocalyptic world. Kind of right after the everybody starts kind of turning into the zombie creatures, but years have passed and we get to see the setting, and it's like this little mini city sanctuary, and you see this little boy walking outside outside of the grounds, and they bring him in and test him, and they realize that he's actually infected with the virus, and then like moments later, you see this group of people like burning all these dead bodies, I guess, infected people, and then you see the little boy's body, and that's when we get our main character back. I was like, damn, that kind of set the tone right there.
Yeah.
Because
like
the girl
shit serious here.
The girl said she couldn't do it, and then the old boy went up there and saw that was a proper scene. No, that was.
Yeah.
I know we played the game in detail. How did you feel about the first episode?
I think it's off the chain, personally. My thing is really already know you can't really first season. That's off top. Now, I'm thinking down the line, because what do we all know? The second game, bro, the story pissed us off. And me and you had massive debates about this because we was like, hey, yo, dog, we went through all of this to get here. So, spoiler alert, if you ain't played Last of Us 2, I don't know what to tell you. But it was mad controversial when it dropped during the pandemic, and everybody was playing because they tried to take this whole very left wing approach and get like hyper progressive. When in reality, they ain't really need none of that in order to tell the story of the game. So, I'll be really intrigued on how they're going to factor that into this, because it was unnecessary. So that's that. Also, with the TV adaptation, we already know what happens in the second game. That'll be very, very unusual to have the same sequence when you hired an actor to play this role for a show. So I don't know how many seasons they got re-upped for. Jay, you work, in that industry. I don't know how that goes. If you already know someone is gonna die, like actors just be like, oh man, just know you only just brought on for one season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do they do that? Or they just go stretch out the first season over like what, 2 or 3 seasons? Then they go into the second half of the story. Like,
I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to. I think they're going to stretch the first game, into multiple seasons. I think that's definitely what's going to happen.
Let me go ahead and just debunk just because I've read in depth about this because it's one of my favorite games of all time. That season 1 will cover all of the first game. So the first game will end how the game ended at the last episode. So
really, how many episodes?
I think there's 14 episodes, 12 to 14 episodes, I believe. That's what they said.
Dragon, bro. They dragging 14. They dragging.
They said 14. It's either it's somewhere. It's 10 between 10 to 14 episodes. I know that for a fact. But they did confirm that season 1 may be
kind of crazy.
Said season 1 will be just the first game, and it'll end where the first game ended. So one season covers one game. They did say that. Now, what you're saying, Marv, is true about certain character dying in the second one. While that is true, keep him on because he'll have flashbacks in season 2. Also have there's a big scene at the end of the second game where he's talking to the character from the first game, even though he's dead. It's kind of like, so he'll be in episodes, he just won't be like how he is now. You know what I'm saying? So he'll have a chance to be in the second in a lot of episodes in the second season too. The main issue is just how they're going to approach the stupid story. That's the main issue, because let me just say off top, Last of Us 2 is one of the most beautiful games ever made. The game mechanics, the fighting sequences, how you do everything is fantastic. The story just sucked, especially at the end. Made a lot of people mad that they got rid of an important character way too early, and then they did not fulfill on the promise at the end of the second game, and they just made it really trash at the end. So that's going to be interesting.
Like big trash.
Casting is also going to be interesting because you got to get female who big as shit to play this certain character in the second game.
They're going to fuck around, go find Ronda Rousey.
I was thinking that too.
Hey, they're going to have to.
That too.
They're going to have to, because old girl was up here swinging like a dude. I'm not lying. She was knocking out.
Lou Ferrigno ass.
Hey, bro. She was knocking them out. So that would be crazy too. More crazy though is Neil Druckmann, who produced The Last of Us both games, said that basically he didn't come out and just say it verbatim, but he alluded to done making The Last of Us games. So interested to see if we're going to get a Last of Us 3 anytime soon, because I'm pretty sure they're going to want to put that out before they put out another season of the show. So that'll be interesting too. But that first episode, 10 out of 10 in my book. It was crazy. It had specific scenes from the game verbatim in the show, like the way they filmed it.
Right.
It was just 1-to-1. Like you could tell, like if you played the games, you knew exactly what was happening in certain scenes. So,
right.
I got to give major credit to the characters. They played the hell out of the roles. Pedro Pascal is doing awesome as Joel so far. So, I'm down right now.
I was gonna say there was some controversy over the casting of his daughter, because they changed her ethnicity. She was white in the games, and she's black. Now.
Yep.
So of course the Twitter racists came out and had an issue with that, even though, to be perfectly honest, her race literally has nothing to do with anything. It's not. It doesn't even matter. But it doesn't even matter. It's nothing.
Even with what you said, true, it don't matter at all, because I'm gonna tell you why it don't matter. Joel is white in The Last of Us. He ain't white in the show. He's Hispanic. Pedro Pascal is Hispanic. Right. So I mean, and so is Tommy. Tommy was white in the game. Tommy is Hispanic now. So my whole thing is like, if you're gonna complain about the black person, about Joel too, bro. All right, like let's not do that. Right. So come on now.
Exactly.
She was literally in one episode. It ain't like she's a part of the whole game. So relax.
Right.
My thing is just like, dude, race is not a factor in The Last of Us. What's crazy about it? It's literally not. Anybody can play the character. It's different at all.
No,
Doesn't change
it's
how the characters doesn't change how the characters act, interact, none of that. You ain't never had no character that was like super hip hop. Like, nah, bro, we ain't going down there. That's crazy, bro. Doing crazy clicking things down there in the valley. You know, because like what's the anime where they did the voiceover to do was like super hip hoppy or whatever recently. I forgot the name of that joint.
I know they had a character like that. Naruto
Ain't that?
Killer Bee, but yeah.
You talking about Naruto Killer Bee?
Yeah, Killer Bee was super.
Yeah.
He was
He
super.
was like, look at y'all. Y'all up here acting crazy. You're like, come on, man. Like, nah. Y'all need that of less of us. So
to his defense though, I'm gonna say, look, yeah, was it a racial caricature?
Oh,
yes,
for
it
sure.
definitely was.
1000%.
Yes. But that's one of the most powerful, badass black dudes in anime, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best black characters in anime. Period, because you rarely get a lot of black characters. And I'm just saying, Masashi Kishimoto, yeah, you probably didn't have to do all the little black hip hop shit. You could have just left him a black dude. But I'm gonna give him credit because he did make him badass and powerful. I'm just gonna say that. So.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like, even if you were to stick to the true essence of the game and actually put actors in place based on race, like, who you gonna go get?
True.
It's a lot. And then you want to actually get good actors. So I can already tell you, man, what's up, the Asian dude that you eventually end up playing, didn't they have like Steven Yeun be of us too?
Yeah, that's an EJ question.
I don't know if Steven Yeun was in The Last of Us 2. I'm trying to think about Asian characters.
You do the voiceover of the Asian dude that she was running around with?
He might have.
I don't know why Steven Yeun. I think so, but it's like, okay, I get that, but crazy, man. Like, just enjoy it for what it is. I think they got great characters and so forth. Like, that's just like saying, okay, if you're gonna do a Walking Dead game, like. You just not go, hey man, we need Norman Reedus and all the original characters when we know that didn't happen.
Right.
Games. So, and it did change the trajectory of how the games went anyway. People want to just be racist and complain. It's like, just shut the hell up.
Right. I will say, aside from those things though, to make the show, the first episode was great, but we still got more episodes to go. What was good about the Last of Us games was the action and the encounters with the zombies. We got to make sure that's in there, as well as the strong story. We see Walking Dead, because you brought up a very interesting thing, Marvin, with Walking Dead. See, the Walking Dead got boring. It was interesting, had an interesting concept, and then there was just too many damn scenes of people walking in the forest having deep conversations and nothing was happening. And it was like you were watching a zombie show with filler.
That's yes and no. That is true. It did get boring in certain aspects, but the main reason The Walking Dead failed is because they killed off all the fucking main characters. Be real, is
pretty much
that killed off all of them. But so I mean, you left basically Norman Reedus is the only guy left, and Mackie are the only two people left from the original cast. And then it took you so long to get from like one book to the next book, where like you said, Jay, it feels like it was filler. But once they got to that next part, bro, it picked back up. I don't know if you stopped watching, but it picked back up and it got crazy for a minute. Bro, so it just took them a long time to get there.
I think the problem with The Walking Dead was that it was an hour long. It shouldn't have been an hour long, because I think they should have kept it shorter. I think it should have kept it a little bit shorter, because it just dragged out too much. It just dragged out too much until everything was just it felt like filler. And you didn't, like, I did hear that it picked up, but it's just like Supernatural, how the TV show Supernatural was very exciting, and then it just kept dragging. It's like y'all just kept making up shit. It's like the show is popular, so let's just keep making up shit, and the stuff doesn't have any substance anymore. And that's what you got to be careful about. And this show, like with the Last of Us, is a very strong story, but you also, so with that being a strong story, it's different when you're playing the game and watching it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I'm saying. You got to be careful, because it can, if it becomes a soap opera, then I don't know if it's gonna be that interesting.
I feel you.
We gotta.
I'm just gonna leave off with this, because that what you just said is very controversial, because people have even talked about this with Walking Dead a lot. Coming from someone who's read the Walking Dead comics, watched the show, loved the show, I will say this, and they say this, the direct what's his name said this, who created the show, and he wrote the books. I'm getting the homeboy's name right now. But he said from the beginning,
Robert Kirkman.
Yes, Robert Kirkman said The Walking Dead is not about action; it is about personal stories. He said it's not really about the zombies; it's about the interpersonal connections between the characters. He said that from day one. So yes, I do understand where we as a people can get bored of stuff like that, especially if you're not one who likes like movies or TV shows with a lot of dialogue. But if you read the comics, it is mostly dialogue. There is not a whole bunch of zombies popping out, pulling people underground, ripping them apart. Like, even though we did have that in the show, The Walking Dead really wasn't like that. And I kind of feel that The Last of Us is in that same vein, but it's not really zombies. This is more of like something else entirely. But
right.
If they stay faithful to the game's action, give us the same story, I feel like we'll be good. I mean, episode 1 had a healthy dose of both, so we'll see.
Right, because you make a great point with that. Like Robert Kirkman's quote definitely defines what The Walking Dead is about. But this with The Last of Us though, you have that thriller survival aspect, and I think that's going to be more exciting than The Walking Dead. Than you just watching people try to survive in a zombie apocalypse, where you have with this show you actually have a goal. So now you're trying to watch these people reach that goal. Yeah, because The Walking Dead had no end point. It was just like, there's no way to save humanity. It's just, how can we survive with zombies here? So yeah, I feel you. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm right now, I give it a 10 out of 10 so far. Episode 2 comes out tonight, so I'm gonna watch that and we'll talk about that in the next episode for sure.
Yep. 5 out of 5 for me.
I want to get into something too that might take a little bit of time, but we need to talk about it for sure. Marv, I'm not sure. Have you seen Avatar yet? The Way of Water.
Bro, you already know what I feel. How I feel about Avatar movies, bro.
I don't. Tell the audience. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I'm not watching it. I'm not watching this shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it a being with you. I watched the first one. I was just like, my nigga, I get the mystique, because you remember we had this whole debate. Y'all remember we had this whole debate about the movie industry and how Avatar changed, and this is the reason why James Cameron and all this stuff, and Jay was going on and on and on.
Yes, because Jay tried to say that the first one didn't change the game, and it definitely changed the game. So we'll talk about that in a second, but go ahead, Mark.
Nah, and I was like, look, I don't like the movie, but I don't agree with that point. I'm not going to see this, bro. I generally don't. And now we got this whole thing that it did well, so now they're gonna keep making these, and now they're trying to bring the Airbender joint in there. I'm just like, all right, dog, like enough's enough, bro. Enough's enough, man. I didn't ask for this.
Since Marv isn't gonna watch it, hey, let's go ahead and have a little discussion real quick about the movie, because I know Jay saw it before I did. I saw it I saw it a week later. Saw it in IMAX 3D. How do you feel about Avatar: The Way of Water?
It was way better than the first one. It was definitely way better than the first one. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story, and to be honest, I like where it's going. I think James Cameron is really trying to make it like a Star Wars franchise out of it. It's starting to really feel like a kind of Star Wars, space opera. But on a planet with these native humanoid creatures, the Na'vi or whatever. I really enjoyed the story. I like where it's going. I will say, in this particular movie, it had no reason being almost 3 hours long. I could tell you that right now. I could tell you that I think a lot of the stuff there was a lot of, I'm gonna spoil a little bit since Marvin's not gonna watch it, but there was like, the kids, the children, in this movie, Jake Sully and what's her name? What's Zoe Saldana's character? I keep forgetting her name. Natiri or something like that. Whatever her name is. They have kids. They got a bunch of kids now, and they've definitely gotten busy in the past few years, and they got some kids now, and a lot. They're put in the forefront and for the bulk of this movie, and it's cool. Didn't have an issue with it, but a lot of the issues kept replaying. And like the kids kept getting in trouble. It's like, the kid shoestring kept getting untied throughout the whole movie, and is a some kind of figure a speech to explain in a way. But it was just like, it was kind of stupid. Like they kept getting themselves in trouble in these incidents, and it was kind of becoming redundant after a while. But there's like a big thing that happens with the kids and toward the third act, and like you like shit hits the fan. You're like, oh damn, I did not see that coming. And it's you know what I'm saying, it kind of hypes it up. So I'm excited to where it's going. But you know, I'm gonna tell you, EJ, I started getting this I started feeling it started reminding me of Roots.
All right, that's crazy. That's how I know I'm not. That's how I know I'm not watching this movie. I know I'm not watching this bullshit.
I'm gonna tell you how it started reminding me of Roots.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you how. Not the way that you may think it is, but it started to turn into like you know how in Roots, like the story, the epic started off with Toby, and then like every like episode or arc. Yeah. Exactly. It's like, so the story kept going to the next generation, and that's what this seems like it's turning into. And then you know, James Cameron just came out and said that, you know, the son is now going to be the narrator for the third film, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think this is turning into like a generational franchise, and I think that's kind of where it departs from the Star Wars thing. Because while Star Wars is a generational thing too,
it's about three characters. It's about three main characters.
Right, exactly. And this one is like, you know, okay, well, Jake Sully started it off. Now, what will his lawing do now? This, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what it's turning into now. And I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing, but I can see that's where it seems like it's turning into. I enjoyed it. I do think that I'm gonna be honest, it looks great. It looks beautiful. The graphics, visually beautiful. The water stuff. I was talking to this, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but I went to, you know, visual effects Oscar thing recently where the finalists are showing off their stuff for the Oscar VFX Oscar award or whatever, and I got to see some of the behind the scenes of how the stuff was made, and I got to see Black Panther and the before and after with Black Panther. Got to see the before and after with Avatar. I'm gonna be honest, I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever did it better. I'm gonna be honest. I know I didn't go to the thing you went to. That is false. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you. Wait. Listen. Wait.
No,
I'm gonna tell you
that this isn't even an argument. Lets me know that the movie's some bullshit.
Let me explain. The movie looks good because see, I know where EJ's coming from. Visually, it does look stunning, especially in 3D when you're dealing with characters that's in CGI 100% of the time. Right. So yes, it has to look good. Right. So yes, I agree with you. But I'm talking about when you're able to do water scenes with live action people. I am sorry, that shit was amazing in Wakanda Forever. Yep, you know I'm watching. Let's be honest, we're watching a 3-hour long video game, CGI cutscene. Let's be honest, that's what it is.
I'm a fantasy spirits within.
It is a 3-hour long CGI beautiful cutscene. Let's just into that.
It's beautiful.
It is amazing. Beautiful. It is literally amazing to watch.
But it is very amazing, and it is very amazing, and it better look amazing for a film that's 100% is CGI all the fucking time. It got to be amazing.
It has to be in CGI. There are no real Navis, so it has to be in CGI 100% of the time.
Right. But what I'm saying is, when I'm comparing visual effects to movies where they're combining visual effects CGI with human people, I'm just sorry. I think Wakanda killed it. And but it looks good. It looks great. I'm just saying, all I'm saying is what I saw in this film. The first Avatar's visual effects were amazing. It was amazing, state of the art. I see what he was going for. Beautiful in the first film. All this one was they put more sweat on them, like they did with 2K. In 2K, like every 2K they put more sweat on them. That's all they did. The sweat in the water is just a little bit more shinier. That's all. That's it. And the 3D looks a little bit more crisper. And I'm gonna tell you, I saw the film in IMAX. I don't know what EJ saw, but I saw the film in IMAX.
I saw it in IMAX.
I didn't see a major difference in the IMAX. Shit wasn't popping out to me in every scene. Like, you know how when you go to the aquarium and they have them special IMAX movies and the shit is like literally in your face. there wasn't a lot of that in this film. When I saw it in IMAX, there were some scenes like when a whale creature was jumping up and doing his little flips in the water, and then you see that. But certain scenes, nothing was popping out at me like that. It was not. It wasn't truly IMAX.
Let me pause for a second because I need to address this because I've seen this. I said the same thing too, and I need to nip this in the bud real quick because everybody thinks that it's supposed to be people reaching out to you. They think it's supposed to be the Terminator ride at Universal Studios where you got the Terminator's motorcycle flying into the audience. 3D is not about that anymore. That is the old school 3D. That is the 1980s, early 90s, early 2000s version of 3D. Now is about immersion. Okay? I understand what you're saying, and you're like, if I'm wearing 3D glasses, I want to see shit pop out at me on the screen. Cool. What they did was, and I was talking to Warren because I wanted to go see it with Warren, is it made you feel like you were there watching it live. It's not about it coming out at you. It's about you watching it and experiencing and feeling like I could actually reach out and this is a scene that's going on in front of me. That's how the 3D is in Avatar. Totally understand what James Cameron is going for. The only part that to me that popped out, that like you were saying, the whole popped out part, and you can see it in the audience, was whenever there was fire, there was like some kind of steam or like smoke, kind of was in the audience a little bit, and you could see the embers like floating around you and shit like that, and that was cool as hell. But
right,
the 3D now, and I think James Cameron even touched on this, is like it's not about us trying to throw stuff at you and make you feel like motorcycles are flying at your face, or Final Destination Part 5 when they had, stuff flying off roller coasters at you and stuff like that. It's not about that anymore. It's about an immersion, a feel like you're actually there watching that scene go on right in front of you. There are going to be times where, like you mentioned, the whale is up there and he's coming out the water and stuff like that, and that is true. But I will tell you this, I would definitely be able to notice the difference of watching Avatar 2 3D IMAX or watching Avatar 2 on my TV. It is two totally different experiences. Oh. So I have to tip my hat and I have to bow to James Cameron. He did his shit again. Like me and Marvin were talking about the last time. Avatar 1 changed the game with 3D, and it actually had more of the whole out to you, like going into the crowd. So hold on one second, I got Alexa talking in the background, so I'll go. Yeah. Avatar 1 was more of the popping out at you, stuff like that. This one was more like, okay, here with these characters, I'm experiencing what they're experiencing right in front of them. So hats off, bro. I'm sorry. This movie was amazing. I love Black Panther. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I thought this one actually had way better CGI and the way that they melded it with real life compared to what they've been doing with Marvel over the last 4 or 5 movies. I think they were right back on track with Black Panther, but I'm comparing it to Avatar 2. To me, Avatar 2 is the second best movie of this year. It's number 2 movies for the year, for sure.
So here's the thing. Being in the film industry and working with projectors, I do have a little bit more knowledge on these things. When I think of IMAX, and see this, and that's the other thing, we got to make sure we differentiate IMAX and IMAX 3D and regular 3D, because you got the real 3D movies and then you got IMAX. In my view, when you have IMAX means shit need to be popping out at you. I'm sorry, that's what it means. IMAX I need to be when I think full immersion. I need not only, like, I do agree with you. I did feel immersion. There's like scenes where in the jungle, for example, and you can literally see like a leaf like on the side of your face and stuff like that. Like I do feel what you're talking about. But when we talking about movies in IMAX, the whole point of IMAX is to have stuff pop out at you, feel like you can touch it. They need to be floating in the air. That's what IMAX is. Now, if I want to see a 3D film where it's the basic 3D shit, and you can still get the same immersion, and every now and then you have a scene where stuff pop out at you, that's what that's for. And to me, and that's actually been a personal, I had this talk, I'm gonna keep this short, but I had this talk with my GM when I used to work at AMC about this. I said, I think we kind of cheating these people out of their money when they come here trying to see a 3D film, because when they come see 3D films nowadays, they're thinking they about to have shit pop out at them. That's not going to happen. In a lot of these films aren't made to be in 3D. These movies are converted into a 3D format, and then they're made to look like this popping out, but it's not true 3D. You know, I've even had people come out the theater and get refunds because they're like, I thought shit was gonna be popping out. I'm like, yeah, but I'm sorry. It ain't. Hey, I'm sorry. 3D ain't what you think it is. It's not 3D. It ain't really 3D like that, bro. I'm sorry. It's really not. So you have that 3D, but then when we talk about IMAX, I'm thinking like I'm trying to see the shit when I went to the aquarium when I was a kid, and you had Tom Cruise doing the narration for the space station shit. I don't know if y'all went to see that. The space station, and then you really felt like you was in space, like you over there holding your breath, because you really got shit floating next to you, and you like you can reach out and touch it. That's what I'm asking for when I'm talking when I'm hearing, or that's what I'm asking for. That's what I'm expecting when you have somebody come out saying, you know what, our film was filmed in IMAX. Because that's, if it's just filmed in 3D, okay, I know my expectations are not gonna be that. But when we talk about IMAX, I really need to feel like I'm in there and have stuff floating and everything. But I do get what you're saying. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that I wasn't immersed. But I was. IMAX is not just the visual part of it too. It's the sound, the audio. So as long as you have those things too, that's part of the immersion as well. But I just have a different expectation when we say IMAX 3D. I'm like, stuff need to be in front of my eyeball. I need to feel like it's tangible at least. And I didn't get that in my viewing. There was some scenes, like I said, some scenes definitely with the water. There was times where it looked like, the water was literally dropping on me at times. And at times I was thinking, man, actually, a funny story. Me and Dorian was going to go see it in the, we were going to go see it at the Regal Theater, but we saw Black Panther with the, where you had the box, the 3D box or whatever, where you have the whole elements and the wind is like blowing at you and the water is squirting at you. And I was like, after I saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever in that film and I had the water squirting on my popcorn, I was like, nah, we definitely not about to go see no Avatar.
I ain't feeling that, right?
I was like, it's cold out here too. I don't need the wind blowing on me because this movie take place outside, so I don't need to be experiencing the environment in that way.
Pause.
I feel what you're saying.
I
feel what you're saying. I just think if you want to see shit flying out at you, go watch Final Destination. The movie's made for shit to fly out at you. That's all I'm saying. Like, this movie ain't really about trying to throw stuff at you in the audience, but to his or own, I just got to give hats off because James Cameron did it again. So, hey.
Right. Good film, though. Good film. Can't lie.
To me, like I said, it is my second favorite movie of 2022. What I initially gave it number one, and then I rethought about what came out. I gotta say, it is officially number two. It is number two.
What's your number one? Black Panther?
Oh hell no. The number one movie of the year is number one movie of the year, in my personal opinion, and I don't care what anybody says, but the movie of the year is Top Gun Maverick. There's nothing else to say.
Okay.
I don't care about 3D, none of that. What they did with Top Gun Maverick, I felt like I was in the cockpit the entire movie. That movie was beautifully shot. For it to pick up where it left off from the original Top Gun, it's just like it flows seamlessly. It was great. Actors did great. I have nothing negative to say about Top Gun Maverick at all.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, because it came out in the summer, so I know it's kind of hard for people to kind of compare those films now that you had Avatar and Black Panther come out. But no, Top Gun Maverick was amazing. Saw it twice.
This was not the year for superheroes. As much as I love my Marvel, my DC, Top Gun Maverick did his thing, and I gotta go with Avatar right there at number two. I may give Black Panther.
You also got to give
it 3. I give Black Panther.
Yeah, I was gonna say you also got to give Top Gun Maverick credit too, because how often do sequels like that work? And that shit worked. Sure. And that was better. I think Top Gun Maverick is better than the first one. I do.
You know what? That it might be a controversial statement, but I may have to agree. The story was really great in this. It really was. So
right.
Even argue with you on that. It might be. But yeah, Avatar 2. The third one they've already confirmed. Avatar 2 is now across 2 billion. So that's a wrap. They're gonna make every.
We were wrong.
We were definitely wrong. They're gonna make every last
Right.
sequel that they said they were gonna make. So get ready for 4 or 3 more Avatars that they're gonna make. So
I guess.
I will say Sam Worthington and Old Girl, they're gonna have jobs forever.
I already know the title of the film. You're hearing it here first. It's gonna be called Avatar: The Feeling of Fire.
Is that confirmed, or are you saying that?
That's the last. They're introducing the Avatar Airbender, Firebenders, the Fire Nation.
Fire Nation.
And yeah,
It's not the Fire Nation, bro. We ever get this confused? Everybody
Fire
get this
Nation.
confused with Avatar: Last Airbender. But
they getting it confused.
At this point, they might as well just put Aang in the movie because he literally stole the 2 franchises. The first movie was based off Pocahontas 100%. It was the exact same story, but just with blue characters. And in this one, he's basically just pushing it towards Avatar: The Last Airbender. So,
Yep.
I mean, hey, if he can get away with it,
Mhm.
$1 billion worth, I guess keep doing it, right? So,
Yep, the Fire Navy gonna be blowing fire out their mouths and summoning fire.
it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire for sure. I will definitely be there to watch it, but you might as well just introduce Aang for real. Might as well go ahead and do that.
Yep.
Oh man. Was there anything else y'all wanted to touch on? I know we got Forspoken. I said comes out next week. That is a PS5 exclusive. I will definitely be copying. Like I say, I only cop games on PS5 that are exclusives. It looks fire. It's got a black lead. Oak Girl that was in Resident Evil. She is the character in this, so I'm going to support that for sure. And then, as we know, Jay, got Hogwarts Legacy on February 10th, so that's not too far away either.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, got a lot of good stuff coming up. And yes, Microsoft Developer Direct is happening this week too. Forgot about that. Them and Bethesda are putting on like a little show together. Talk more about Redfall, some of the other Bethesda Game Studios games that are coming out in 2023. Noticeably, Starfield will not be at this Developer Direct. Apparently, they're having their own Developer Direct all about Starfield, so it'll be its own little show about Starfield that they said that there will be announcing soon. I'm pretty sure it's either going to be at the end of February or beginning of March where we'll get our own Starfield Direct. So, stuff coming up, apparently.
Yep, that's good. The other big thing I think was pretty much it. Is that Ubisoft has delayed for the 6th time Skull and Bones.
Nobody cares. Nobody's buying that game.
No one cares.
So I'm sorry for them that they keep doing this, but I didn't care about it when it was first delayed. Well, now that it's delayed 6 times, I know I'm not playing this game. I don't even really mess with pirate-looking games. The only game I messed with like that was Assassin's Creed when they had Old Boy in it. That's the only Black Flag. That's the only game I played with like pirates and stuff. So me, that's an automatic. It was a no before they delayed it the first time. So I really ain't playing it now. You played it 6 times. That's like 3 years of delay. So
I didn't mind. I wouldn't mind playing a pirate game, but it needs to be like a game of substance. And to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this game because it looked like you just are going to be playing with you. It's like pirate boat simulator almost.
Yeah.
I don't want to play no pirate boat simulator.
Like
Yeah, I don't want to play that. So I think the structure of the game changed. I think at some point you could land, park your your pirate boat on certain places and get out of it and talk to the native people and shit. I was like, okay, that would have been more interesting. You could take the concept of what they did with Black Flag without the assassin stuff, but that would have been cool. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going well over there. And they said that Ubisoft was surprised that Mario, Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and Just Dance 2023 underperformed. To be honest, I think the dancing games aren't as popular as they were, like they were when they first came out. All the rock bands and Guitar Heroes, those music games kind of declined. Like they've reached their height already. They're not as popular these days. But Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, I mean, I didn't play the first one, so I couldn't tell you how popular it was. Actually, I lost my Nintendo Switch, y'all. Lost my shit on rental car. I'm still trying to see if I can get it back.
Dang,
man, that sucks.
Yep. So my stuff somebody probably stole my stuff, man. They said they couldn't find it. I was like, how you can't find it? It was in the back seat. Okay, cool. Y'all stole it. Gotcha.
Yep. They definitely stole it, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Yep.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yep. I ain't crying about it. And I'm a big boy. I'll just buy another one.
Said they can't find it. Knowing damn well old dude reached in that back seat and grabbed that thing and gave it to his son, bro. That's
okay, cool, bro.
That's sad, bro. That's real sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Yep. But anyway,
real quick too, I forgot to because I need to talk about this for like 5 seconds. But I'm gonna ask Jay about God of War. I didn't finish it. I'm gonna try to finish it today. How did you feel with the ending and everything? Don't spoil it because I haven't finished it yet. But how did you feel God of War was? Just like the overall game.
5 out of 5.
Okay.
5 out of 5. I it's hard to talk about it and not spoil it, but it's amazing. I will say this. It leaves me very curious on what they're gonna do with the next one, man. With the next one, you know, you already know this. That this is the last of the Norse saga. So I'm just curious on what happens now. Like, what pantheon are we going to? Another pantheon in the next one? What's going to happen? Like, with the characters, some of the stuff that happens in this game, like what happens to their faith, and how does certain stuff continue with stuff. So like I said, that's all I can say. But it was amazing. It was good. Like I said before, Mar, I don't know who told you that there wasn't a lot of combat. The combat was off the chain. Yeah, amazing.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't want you to spoil anything for me because it probably won't be it anyway. But I was always a big proponent of what's his name? I'm forgetting his name now. Main character. Main character. Kratos. I was always a big fan of Kratos. We're talking about taking him out of the Greek pantheon, and they were debating on where to put him next. It's always a big point of him going to Egypt. I thought he should have went to Egypt instead of where he's at now. So, because I always thought Kratos was black. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if he was born in Greece or not. Kratos is black. He had a black voice actor. He looked black. He acted black. So I always thought he should have went to Egypt. But I'm interested to finish the game. So when I finish the game, we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, Cory Barlog, the director of the first one, I was watching, his documentary he made showing how they made this one. But no, that was actually what they were going to do. They were truly going to do the Egypt route, and then somebody had an idea about the Norse thing, and they just went upon that. So yeah, no, I think the Egyptian story would be the strongest because if you want more answers to like some of the stories that happens in this game or even the rest of them, I think it all could come from the Egyptian pantheon. So there's many gods there that have stuff to do with the beginning and the creation of the universe and the earth, and it's just so I think it could really go deep.
All right, bet. Well, I gotta finish that soon, man, because this game, I've been playing other stuff and got caught up with stuff and trips and all this stuff, but I'm definitely gonna soon, because the game was definitely 5 out of 5 for me before. So yeah.
Right.
Did y'all want to go ahead and just tell the audience what we thought game of the year was for each person? Because I know we didn't get a chance to really do what we wanted to do with that. Marvin's already, so we really don't even have to ask Marvin.
Well, let's let Marv say it, just because. Marv, what was your game of the year for 2020?
My game of the year was? Y'all already know what time it is, man. You already know, man. Big Elden Ring around here, man. Y'all know what time it is, bro. Game of the year. Y'all know what it is. Big rings, real big rings. Real big rings. Y'all know what it is. It's Elden Ring, dog.
Jay?
Why?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Why, Marvin?
Just briefly, because I got to run, but briefly.
Yeah, briefly.
Elden Ring was a great game.
Yeah, why is it your game of the year? Yeah.
Game of the year because literally there has not been a game that united not only all of the gaming community into a different genre of a game that everyone could enjoy, and also just the immersive gameplay that it had. There's nothing like it. It's fresh, new, and very rewarding. It forced people to have to play something different. Every other game of the year that they've given, it's something that in theory was a great game, but it's kind of like, bro, you haven't played some shit like this before. You had, like, think about it. You had everyone playing Elden Ring, bro. Talking about people who never played nothing like Elden Ring playing Elden Ring.
I got forced and I got duped into playing Elden Ring, but that's for another story for another day. But go ahead.
And that shit was hard. It was fire.
That is true. It's fire.
It's a fire game.
For me, definitely game of the year is God of War. Definitely with Elden Ring coming in as a runner-up. I don't care what the Game Award said. It was definitely God of War. God of War was a great game, amazing. The combat was nice. Without spoiling it, I think the only problem I had with God of War was the interface. I think they need to update the game interface, because some of the stuff like equipping weapons and stuff like that was kind of confusing how they had it constructed. But yeah, fix the interface for the next one, please. Thank you. But besides that, story was amazing. I like how I think it's kind of hard to make stuff based off of mythology when you have Marvel kind of setting the tone for the certain mythological characters, especially with Thor and Odin and stuff like that. But I like how they stayed true to more, or they tried to stay true for the most part to the actual Norse, the poetic Edda, Norse mythology stuff. So, but it was great. Game of the year, amazing. Can't wait for the next one.
Cool. Everybody has watched First Take. Know that a lot of times they don't like to just agree with each other just to agree, or if someone has an idea about something, they let that person tell the game or tell what they're talking about and express the idea on that. So Jay just did that. And usually I would go with Jay, and I do think Jay is actually right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a wrench in this and be different. Little devil's advocate, be on a different side. It's a game that people haven't talked about, and I feel got really disrespected this whole entire year. And I was actually listening to a podcast earlier today on Xbox, but they were talking about this game and how, for some reason, they don't understand why it hasn't gotten the exposure and just the love that it should have gotten, because it technically should be a top 3 game of the year. So, with Jay already going ahead and picking God of War and Marvin picking Ring, my game of the year is Horizon Forbidden West.
He's gonna say that.
Horizon Forbidden West. That's one of the most beautiful graphics of any game this year. Like I told Jay, it is on par with God of War 1000%. Character models, the acting. You want a game with action, you're not going to get any more action than you're going to get in Horizon Forbidden West. Story is amazing. They brought in new characters who are great. If people who play the game know that Carrie-Anne Moss from the Matrix fame, she was brought into this as one of the main characters in the game now. Boy Silence, black dude. Forgetting what else he's been in. I know he was recently in the Resident Evil TV show. He's also known for some other shows that he's done. But the characters were great. The voice acting was great. The action was great. The way they picked up directly from the first game to this one has also been great. And the way they're setting up the third one, which potentially could be the last one, is also great. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and just say Horizon Forbidden West was just amazing. I don't know if it was because of the female lead. I don't really know what it was, but the game should have gotten a lot more exposure than it did. So that is my game of
the year. Okay. And we will be sending the trophies to the respective. Let me stop. Just kidding. We're not doing
that. No trophies here, sir. No trophies here.
None.
But yeah,
it'd be a good idea one year though.
That would be, yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it for this one. First podcast of 2023. Start diversifying, do some new things this year. But yeah, got a lot to look forward to. Got a lot of big games coming up, so I know we'll definitely be doing a lot of reviews on those. Having a lot of content on the channel and on our social media platforms about everything. So, for tuning in and listening as always. We'll catch you on the next one.
Good show.
Peace.
Peace. Feel free to follow us on all social media platforms. Catch us over on Spotify at the SHU Program and any other DSPs that you prefer to listen to podcasts on. Also follow us over on Instagram at the SHU Program. Follow us on Twitter at SHU_program. And also tap in with us, man. Ask any questions. Feel free to follow, DM us, reach out. If you like anything, follow us on YouTube. Please let us know, man. We really, really appreciate you all listening. We appreciate you all's feedback and tapping in with us content-wise, man. We would love to get to know you and figure out who's listening to us and what you all would like to see, and just for showing us consistent love week after week. Thank you all so much.